Just to the left of that tree there, North Sydney. That's the city of Sydney just there. Keep panning towards the south. You can clearly see the line of the temperature inversion and the smog layer which is underneath it. That blonde line which you can see, oh, if the smog wasn't so bad, just above my fingertip is the Lucas Heights atomic reactor and the Lucas Heights tip. Down there we're looking at Badgerys and the Sydney sub-basin. This morning that was particularly bad in there. Unfortunately, by now it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, almost 3. The photochemical smog is now set up and started to move to the north as it does. Well, it goes out to sea and then comes back during the afternoon to resettle over the Badgerys sub-basin. This is the entire Sydney Basin here. In 1992, Professor Fred Bell, air quality guru, wrote a report about the vulnerability of Sydney's air quality called Air Pollution Problems in Western Sydney. In that report, he referred to this article, and I'll read to you one paragraph that comes out of that article. It's a dynamic thing. The vulnerability of Western Sydney to air pollution problems was recognised at least 20 years ago, but has been largely ignored by the various state governments since that time. An article by Joseph Glascott in the Sydney Morning Herald of the 29th of October 1975 referred to a report prepared by the experts of the State Pollution Control Commission, SPCC, in 1973. This clearly identified the meteorological and topographic features of Western Sydney that made the area a potential pollution trap. The report suggested that Western Sydney was unsuitable for future extensive urban development and population growth in the area should be halted by 1978. According to Glascott, such a gloomy picture was drawn that the report was kept confidential by the government of the day. Professor Bell, the amazing bugger that he is, had tens of thousands of copies of his report distributed. Myself and my group distributed more than 20,000 copies ourselves. The people in the state, the planning department, Department of Urban Affairs and Planning, whichever one you want to call it by its various Geist names along the way, are clearly deficient, because over towards the south, just there, we have a new city being built. That's me on the ground. A new city being built at Oran Park. How is it that developers have managed to do something, and how many people in government departments are in breach of their duty of care? This is a mild day. Believe me, I usually see it much, much worse than this. Sydney, you have a problem. You have a really big problem. Developers have got politicians and political departments, more to the point, by the short and curlies. Clearly there's something very, very, very wrong when someone can buy land through some very unusual and interesting processes, like CSIRO land, virtually straight in front of you. Badgerys, Rellan down there is owned by the Perch family. Badgerys to the south, Oran Park development, was owned by the Perches. Now there's going to be a city there. 30,000 homes. In what's thought to be, or known to be in fact, not thought to be, one of the most severely polluted sub-basins in the world, and with the potential to become one of the very worst air pollution zones also in the world. Think about whether or not you really want an airport at Badgerys Creek, right at the very back of the Sydney Basin. There. Whoops. Let's try it a little bit over there. Yes, people. Brought to you by the Western Sydney Mafia, the development corporations based in Parramatta and Liverpool, want to put an airport right where you're looking right now. Believe me, if there's anything stupid, then this is it. Over and out.